خوشحاله یم چې نن د پاکستان جلالت مآب صدر اعظم ښاغلی راجا پرویز اشرف افغانستان ته راغلی دي او زموږ د خلکو میلمه دی. د دوی راتګ و افغانستان ته نیکمرغه ګڼو او ښه راغلی ورته وایو. د افغانستان ملت د پاکستان د خلکو هغه درنښت، هغه میلمه پالنه چې زموږ د جهاد په شپو کې او د مهاجرت په شپو کې ترسره کړه، له هغه لپاره به تل ممنون وي او ستاینه یې کړي. افغانستان او پاکستان لکه ما چې تل ویلي دي ورونه هیوادونه دي، خو غبرګولي ورونه هیوادونه دي. ګټه او تاوان یې سره شریک دی، لکه چې په دې تیرو 10 کلو کې په وارو ثابته شوې ده. چېرته چې افغانستان په مشکلاتو او ستونزو کې و، پاکستان په همدغو مشکلاتو او ستونزو کې و. چېرته چې افغانستان دردېدلی دی، ډېر ژر وروسته بیا پاکستان هم ورسره دردېدلی دی. چېرته چې پر افغانستان د ترورستانو حملې وې، یرغلونه وه، ډېر ژر مو ولیدل چې پاکستان هم د همدغه کړاو او رنځ سره مخامخ سو. او نن زموږ او جلالت مآب صدر اعظم صاحب د پاکستان ترمنځ خبرې په همدغه مورد کې وې، تر څو دواړه هیوادونه ژر تر ژر په دواړو هیوادو کې یو د بل د همکارۍ سره او د هغه همکاري د تقویې په منظور بحث وکړ. همه جانبه چې څنګه په افغانستان کې د تروریزم د فعالیت مخه ونیول سي او څنګه په پاکستان کې د تروریزم د فعالیت مخه ونیول سي، څنګه دواړو هیوادو ته امن او سوله راسي، او څنګه پاکستان او د پاکستان محترم چارواکي د افغانستان د سولې د کوښښو سره، د افغانستان د سولې د عالي شورا سره مرسته وکړي تر څو موږ ژر تر ژره دا منطقه امن کړو، او څنګه بیا افغانستان د دوی سره په پاکستان کې د امن او د ښه ژوندانه لپاره مرستندوی سي. دا مسایل مو په تفصیل وڅېړل، بحث پرې وکړئ. اقتصادي همکاري مو وڅېړلې او د پاکستان د ښاغلي صدر اعظم دا غوښتنه چې د پاکستان سرمایهدارو ته، د پاکستان پانګه اچوونکو ته، تجارو ته د افغانستان حکومت هغه ویزې ورکړي چې څو واره پکې تګ راتګ، یعنې اصطلاح د ملټیپل ویزې ده، چې دا ورته ورکړي چې افغانستان به په خوشحالۍ دا کار وکړي. موږ د پاکستان سره هر اړخیزه او پراخ رابطه غواړو. په همدې ترتیب نن سهار د ښاغلي صدر اعظم سره یو ځای د انګلستان د صدر اعظم سره یو ګډ مجلس درلود، سیجانمه هم درلود، چې د هغه لپاره د پاکستان او د افغانستان حکومتو دواړو د انګلستان د صدر اعظم د ابتکار څخه مننه وکړه او په زړه پورې او جالب مجلس مو درلود. د سولې په حیث کې او د امن په حیث کې او د تروریزم سره د مجادلې په حیث کې مو د سعودي عربستان هڅې او د زموږ د سولې د شورا سره د هغوی هڅې مو هم وستایلې او د دوی د لا ملګرتوب او لا پشتیبانۍ غوښتنه مو وکړه. ځینې مشخصو مسایلو باندې مو خبرې وکړې او مشخصې لارې مو تر بحث لاندې ونیولې او د مشخصو لارو پیشنهادات مو وکړه تر څو دواړه هیوادونه سولې او هغه امن ته ورسېږي چې غوښتنه یې ده. هیله مو دا ده چې ډېر ژر به د افغانستان د سولې د عالي شورا رئیس او اعضا یې پاکستان ته سفر وکړي او هلته به پر هغو مواردو کې چې نن خبرې پر وسولې او څه توافقات حاصل سوله لا ډېر کار وسي تر څو نتیجه یې و افغانستان و هم دا شان پاکستان ته مثمره واوسیږي. زه یو ځل بیا د ښاغلي صدر اعظم راتګ و افغانستان ته په ډېر عزت او د افغانانو په ډېره شکرګزاري ستایم خدای دوی راولي او امید مې دا دی چې دواړه هېوادونه په هغه توګه چې خبرګولي دي د رښتینې خبرګولیو ژوند سره وکړي او سوله او امن دواړه هېوادو ته راسي. دوی ته بیا هم ښه راغلاست وایم. خدای مو راوړي.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I'm indeed delighted to be in Afghanistan just a few weeks after being elected as Prime Minister. This reaffirms that Kabul is the most important capital for us. I'm grateful to President Karzai for inviting me and for the warm reception and generous hospitality extended to me and my delegation. Pakistan and Afghanistan are two brotherly Muslim countries bound by common history, culture, and religion. We face common challenges and have common opportunities in store for us. Like our past, our future is linked together. Earlier today, President Karzai and I had useful discussions on a number of issues of mutual interest. Our talks focused, among other issues, on achieving long-term stability in Afghanistan and strengthening bilateral relations. Our two countries face the common threat of terrorism, and we are committed to work together to eliminate this scourge. I reiterated Pakistan's full support to an inclusive Afghan-led and Afghan-owned process of reconciliation. Pakistan's decision to reopen GLOCs underlines our commitment in helping to secure a peaceful and stable Afghanistan. The facilitation of the transition process in Afghanistan was an important consideration in coming to this decision. Pakistan has pledged an amount of $20 million to support the Afghan National Security Forces. At Tokyo, Pakistan announced another 1,000 scholarships and construction of 25 basic health units and 25 schools. We will also offer capacity building programs in the areas of banking, finance, telecommunications, and several other sectors after due consultation with the Afghan government. I reaffirm once again Pakistan's commitment to work for stability, peace, and development in Afghanistan. Peace in Afghanistan means peace in Pakistan. I'm grateful to President Karzai for arranging bilateral and trilateral meeting as well. And it was really very positive, and I appreciate the role of the British Premier, who was here in this morning, and we had fruitful discussion in that meeting as well. And I'm sure, as I have reiterated, that Pakistan is a part of solution and not part of the problem as far as Afghanistan peace, security, and stability is concerned. Thank you.
Whenever it happens that you talk about relationship with Pakistan, you always talk money, honey and milk. and you talk of pleasant things about Pakistan while on the soil of Afghanistan, or you may be in Pakistan. But unfortunately, we have been observing that in your parliament and sometime your NDS spokesman talks not good, but rather I must say talk obnoxious. Is it a policy of your government, or why it happened so that you talk of good things about Pakistan while in Pakistan, in parliament or in any other forum, Afghanistan was never been criticized, but rather if someone attempts to do that, he is being discouraged by doing so. I just want to have your take on this, and question to my Prime Minister is that are you satisfied about your talks with the visiting, with the host president, and how far you are satisfied about the trilateral interaction you had this morning? Thank you, sirs.
I would say that as far as my talks with the Honorable President and our bilateral talks are concerned, I am fully satisfied. They were formal and informal both, and we had frank discussion with open mind and heart. So, and I am sure that such meetings would pave way for our further successes to bring peace and tranquility. And look, I must say one thing, that we are not only neighbors, but we are two brotherly countries. President always says good thing about Pakistan. We always say good thing about Afghanistan. We all should say good things about both the countries, all stakeholders, all of you, media, spokesmen, everybody. So because we have to live together, our children and our coming generations have to live together. So there is no other option but to talk good, to think good, to act in a better manner, and to face the common enemy, the common challenges, and to achieve the common goals. Thank you.
Well, my brother, you're right. And it is because of the perception in Afghanistan. If you have noticed, there are also occasions where in Pakistan, officials sometimes make statements towards Afghanistan that are not very friendly. That is also because of the perception there. So it's the result of the environment that we live in both countries, and what the two of us, the Honorable Prime Minister and I, did today together with our delegations from the morning till right now was exactly for this reason, to create an environment whereby suspicions go away, whereby there is no reason at all at any level for complaint, where the two societies live in peace and prosperity, where we are no longer affected by terrorism and violence as we are unfortunately both affected at this moment. So both are realities. The reality is that Afghanistan and Pakistan are brothers, rather twin brothers. The reality is that the Afghan people were in millions refugees in Pakistan, and the reality is that the people of Pakistan looked after the refugees and the Afghans in a manner no other country will ever do. But also there is a reality that both countries are affected by violence and terrorism, and circumstances in the past 30 years have led to this violence to fall on both countries, and it is for us to work together to bring stability, and in the consequence of that, any statements that may come or you may hear today will not be there tomorrow. So we are friends, We are neighbors, and yet we surely have problems in each country and between the two countries.
زایر بهان هستم از تلویزیون خورشید. سوالم اولا از نخست وزیر پاکستان است. اولا شما را خوش آمدید میگویم به افغانستان. سوال اینجاست که من چند روز پیش به ولایت کنر سفر داشتم. به ولسوالی دانگام ولایت کنر. اونجا تقریبا 15-20 کیلومتر خاک افغانستان از سوی نظامیان پاکستانی تصرف شده. آیا شما با خبر هستین یا خیر؟ یک موضوع دومش تروریسم همواره انتقادهای صورت میگیره که در آن سوی مرز صورت میگیره و اونجا آموزش میبینن و فرستاده میشه به افغانستان. آیا شما به صفت نخست وزیر که جدیداً به این پست گماشته شدین اقدام شما چی خواهد بود؟ و یک سوال آقای رئیس جمهور از شما دارم که د خلکو پاسونونه په ځینو ولایتونو کې شروع شوي دي ولې دولت هغوی سره همکاري نه کوي تر څو د مخالفینو د لمنځه په برخه کې یو لوی ګام وي؟ مننه.
That Pakistan do not support any terrorist, and it is not in our interest, and we cannot afford it. We are the victims of terrorism. We are the victims of terrorist attacks, and thousands of innocent civilians and innocent peoples have been killed in Pakistan. The world knows it. We are the great sufferers. We have lost men in a huge colossal loss we have sustained in men and material, and we are constantly under attack. So how can Pakistan promote such things or can think of, supporting such elements? They are our enemies. They are enemies of Afghanistan, and as I have already told you, they are our common enemies. We always try our best. We have launched military operations. We have cleared many of our areas that was in their control. And doing that, we have to sacrifice both in men and material, as I always say. But our valiant soldiers, they cleared them. There are few pockets. Still, we need to clear them, and we have to clear them. And we have no other option but to clear them. Same like, from this side, from Kunar side, we get attacks on our armed forces, on our civilians. So we have discussed all these things. And now we have to do our utmost. We have to go to our elastic limits to control such happenings. Thank you.
The هغه ولسی پاتون په باب چې تاسو پوښتنه وکړه په د افغانستان په ځینې ولسوالیو کې په ځینې ولایتو کې دا د خلکو پاتون دی د هغو اعمالو په خلاف چې ظلم پکې تر حد تیرو د ښوونځیو بربادي و سوځول وه د ځوانانو شاګردانو شهادت و او د کورنیو ازارول وه د هغو کسانو په نامه چې د طالبانو په نامه راتلله او هلته ظلم کاوه نو دا پاڅون د ولس دی چېرته چې د افغانستان حکومت د دې پاڅون سره مرسته وکولی سي داسې مرسته چې څوک پکې خوږ نه سي امن پکې ټینګ سي سوله پکې ټینګه سي او د ولس په هغې کې راحتي او کراري وي او سوکالي او خوشحالي وي په تمام معنا به د افغانستان دولت دا وکړي او کوشش به خصوصا دا دی چې دا د ولس پاڅون دا د ولس وي او پکې داسې حرکت ونه سي چې خدای ناکرده بیرته ولس پکې خوښ سي او یا آسیب وبیني نو د ولس د ښېګڼې دپاره چې څه وي هغه به انشاءالله وکړو تر څو ژوند لا ښه سي.
Kaisa Zimi from Al Jazeera English. Sir, my question is, how much control the civilian government has over the military government? Because we knew in the past few years, President Karzai had very good relationship with the civilian government, but always Afghan government complained from military government. Now you're new in your position. What do you think? Do you control the military government? Do you control the ISI and ISI how you can control them.
Well,
Mr.
I think this is
President,
also, sorry, you
sorry.
complete.
Mr. President, sorry. First question, what is this meeting, what's different in this meeting that you have done in the previous months with the previous government? And about the corruption, fighting against corruption. Yes, you are saying that you're going to take act against, you're going to take some act against fighting against corruption. But what happened to those all billions of dollars that they already stolen by government official, by international community people? So would you follow that with government official and with everyone, or you will forget about that, you will start a new one?
Thank you. Well, I would say that again, this is a matter of perception. As far as the civilian democratic government in Pakistan is concerned, we are a responsible government representing a responsible nation. The armed forces of Pakistan, the military, you said, they are part of the federal government. They work under a system, and they have proved over a period of time, this time, the civilian tenure, that they took orders from the civilian government to fight against the terrorism, and they are in a state of war against the terrorism. And I must admire and appreciate that the way they sacrificed to clear our areas like Swat, Dir, and so many other areas of Waziristan. So they are on board, and I reject this perception and that there is any difference between the armed forces or the civilian government. This is a democratic government, parliament is supreme, and all institutions in Pakistan, they work under the constitution, which is supreme, and we all are bound by the constitution of Pakistan. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Prime Minister, the Al Jazeera took turns without having a turn. But anyway, welcome. On the fruitfulness of our talks today with the Honorable Prime Minister of Pakistan and his distinguished delegation, as the Prime Minister indicated, we had a very extensive and profound discussion, in-depth discussion of all the issues of importance to Afghanistan and Pakistan, of importance to the security of both countries, and of importance to peace and prosperity in both countries. We presented our views. Our Pakistani brothers and sisters presented their views, and we have reached certain conclusions for which there will be a follow-up, and the follow-up will be soon, hopefully, done by the two sides, in particular by the Afghan Peace Council, through the visit that they will have to Pakistan. On corruption, where aid money was misspent by donors, something that we can't do much about. On the money that was stolen from our banks and taken abroad, we are following that. The government has already issued letters through the Attorney General and the courts to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and to the respective governments where we think that money may be, where we can trace money. Of course, we'll try to recover it. But on aid, the money has already been spent, some properly, some improperly. Some money has come to Afghanistan, some has not even come to Afghanistan, but has been spent in our name. That we're not going to pursue. It's not within our power, within our means to pursue. But we will, as we have agreed in the Tokyo conference, with the international community have a different model of support to Afghanistan by the donors, by which 50% of the donor assistance will be spent through the Afghan budget system, and 80% of the assistance will be in line with the priorities of the Afghan government, with the priorities of the national priority programs of Afghanistan. And this part in particular, since the Tokyo conference, is something that we must make sure is adhered to and is delivered properly.
Mr. Prime Minister Ashraf, a warm welcome to Kabul, to windy Kabul. And it's great to have you here visiting Afghanistan for your first journey abroad. Please, a bit louder. Okay. Now, President Karzai visited Pakistan, Islamabad in February, where the expectation was that he will be able to meet with some of the leaders of the Taliban who are thought to be in Pakistan. But he returned to Kabul empty-handed. While he was returning to Afghanistan, a high-ranking official in your government, in Mr. Gilani's government, said that this is a ridiculous demand to ask Pakistan to pave the way for Afghan officials to meet the Taliban leaders. Is this a ridiculous demand? و جناب رئیس جمهور افغانستان، آیا شما همچنان اعتقاد دارین که پاکستان میتونه نقش را در فراهم کردن زمینه گفتگوی شما با رهبران طالبان و دیگر شورشیان فراهم کنه؟
Well, my friend, Pakistan is playing the role of a facilitator, and we will keep on playing the role of a facilitator. If Pakistan can facilitate in any manner, we would do it. And I have already assured my brother, President Karzai, that we will be very happy to facilitate. We will be very happy to help or support in a manner which can solve the problem, which can bring peace and stability in Afghanistan, because we honestly feel that a stable, a prosperous Afghanistan is the guarantee of prosperity and stability in Pakistan. So this is our common task, common goal. So no one should have any doubt in his mind that we are the facilitator, and we will facilitate any initiative which is Afghan-led, Afghan-owned. Thank you.
در مورد کوشش ما بر صلح و نقش دولت پاکستان صحبت مفصل امروز شد و قرار است که رئیس کمیسیون صلح سفری داشته باشد به پاکستان تا اونجا مسائل را که صحبت کردیم و مراتبی که صحبت شد تعقیب شود و امیدوار هستیم که نتیجه دلخواه را به هر دو کشور داشته باشیم. تشکر.
Pakistani side says one
yes,
question.
Please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ejaz Haider, I'm a writer with Express Tribune based in Lahore. I think we all agreed that despite all this feeling of bonhomie, there are real problems. And since you talked about the High Peace Council, and you said that one of the things that was discussed was the function of the High Peace Council, and you also talked about the follow-up. So I just want to go back and, I'm reminded of the time when Ustad Rabbani came to Islamabad. And there was a lot of hope, both in Afghanistan as well as in Pakistan. But that didn't really go anywhere, and it ended in a tragedy which was eminently avoidable. And I wish he was here, because in '93, in this very place, he hosted me along with another delegation. So it was also a personal tragedy for me. Is there a mechanism now that has been discussed, or modalities, which are concrete and which will actually allow both sides to avoid this kind of thing, because immediately after that, there was also a blame game. And if I recall, you had gone to a visit after that to India, where you signed the strategic partnership agreement with India, which was not particularly looked upon with much, satisfaction in Pakistan. So I just thinking that instead of, we hope that this is not just one of those previous rounds, and that this will in fact result in something concrete. Thank you, sir.
Well, sir, that's a very important question. We hope too that this will not be one of those previous rounds. And that is exactly what we discussed. The reason that you waited for so long, for which we are sorry, was because we were discussing in depth all these questions. We have made certain proposals, and our brothers in Pakistan government made certain proposals. We discussed those proposals in detail, and a to and fro discussion took place in earnest and in great detail and clarity and transparency. We have concluded that certain measures will be taken, as the Prime Minister referred to correctly, measures of facilitation. And in pursuit of that, the chairman of the High Peace Council will visit Pakistan. So let's hope that this round will be one that will be of satisfaction to both countries and will bring better security to both the Afghan people and the people of Pakistan. The issue of visit to India after the martyrdom, the assassination of President Rabbani, was not a reaction to events in Afghanistan or in Pakistan. It was something that we had planned long before, and which will have no impact on our relations with Pakistan. We have strategic partnership agreements with various countries. The United States, UK, France, Italy will be signing one in a few days with Norway, and we're talking with Turkey about this, and with India. But with Pakistan, even not having a partnership agreement of a strategic nature, the relationship that the two countries have is of a special nature. And it is this special nature of relationship that bonds us together, and it is this special nature of relationship that causes a reciprocity of events in the two countries. When we suffer, people in Pakistan suffer. When people in Pakistan suffer, we suffer. So this is a very particular relationship, and important here is that this particularity, the special nature of the relationship has to be taken advantage of by the two governments in favor and for the benefit of the two nations. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
شکر جناب رئیس جمهور حمید صدیقی است از تلویزیون نور. سوال ما اول از نخست وزیر پاکستان است. اول نوار خوش آمدید میگم به افغانستان. جناب نخست وزیر.
One second, the English. Yeah.
جناب نخست وزیر، بعد از شهادت استاد برهان الدین ربانی رئیس پیشین شورای عالی صلح، حکومت و صدر اعظم پیشین پاکستان این وعده را داد که دوسیه شهادت استاد ربانی را که تا جایی که به پاکستان برمیگرده او را بررسی میکنه و 2 نفر هم حکومت پاکستان در ارتباط به این قضیه دستگیر کرده. آیا شما چقدر مطمئن هستی که میتونه این دوسیه را بررسی کنی و با حکومت افغانستان در این مورد همکاری کنی؟ و جناب رئیس جمهور، سوال ما از شما است که قسمی که خبرنگار پاکستانی هم گفت پارلمان افغانستان همیشه از پاکستان شکایت میکنه و شکایت اونها اکثرا در موارد حملات راکتی از طرف مرز به ولایت‌های شرقی کشور بوده. آیا شما در این مورد با نخست وزیر پاکستان صحبت کردی و او چی وعده داره در این مورد به شما داده؟
Well, my friend, the assassination of Professor Rabbani was a shock to Pakistan, and we condemned it. The Prime Minister visited Afghanistan, and I tell you one thing, Professor Rabbani was a great man and he was a great friend of Pakistan. He was highly respected in Pakistan. As far as investigation is concerned, we will leave no stone unturned, and we will try our best to have the proper investigation, and if the culprits are there, are around, we will not spare them. Thank you.
بله ما در مورد این حملات با برادر ما صدر اعظم صاحب پاکستان صحبت کردیم و صحبت جامع و مفصل داشتیم و ما فکر میکنیم به همین اندازه جواب ما کفایت کنه. تشکر.